Hello.
James Young from the rock band Styx.
James Young from Styx. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic, my friend. Getting ready for our company holiday party tonight. We're having a 70s funky dress-up thing, so I'm getting my costume ready.
I'll jump on a plane right now.
Come on with it, buddy. You would fit in perfectly. I'm actually going. I'm actually going as the leather guy from the Village People. That's a secret to everybody up here. But next year, if we do it again, we'll get you out, and I'll go as one of the other members of Styx, and we'll just jam all night.
Sounds good.
Kicking off the 2024 tour here in Florida, Clearwater specifically, at the Sound on January 5th. You guys are pretty much always on the road, because not only do you have that tour, but then a little bit later on in the year, you're coming back around when you do the Renegades and Jukebox Heroes tour with Foreigner and John Waite.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys, do you still have Ricky Phillips in the band? That's from John's old bands, The Babies and Bad English.
Yeah, absolutely.
So are they going to...
Coverdale Page.
That's right. I almost forgot. Coverdale Page. Man, what a super group that was. Holy hell.
Yeah.
All right. It's football season, so we got to get into this. You're from Chicago. Are you therefore a Bears fan?
Well, yes, unfortunately. Fortunately, but unfortunately.
I mean, they're 4-8 this year, but we're not doing that much better here in Tampa. The Bucs are 5-7. At least neither of us are Panthers or Patriots fans.
Well, we cling to the '85 Bears here with the refrigerator and Jim McMahon and Walter Peyton and what have you. So
that was when I first got into being a big football fan myself, was that Bears year, and everybody was doing the Super Bowl shuffle.
Super Bowl shuffle, right.
Absolutely. So you guys actually got to play pregame before the Super Bowl, the one that the Bucs won back in 2003.
Yes, we did.
Who were you rooting for at that one? I got to ask.
Well, I can't remember who was playing, but
it was the Bucs and the Raiders. So,
well, the Buccaneers. A lot of relatives live in Florida, so I was for the Buccaneers. Yeah.
There you go. I mean, at least when you're talking to a radio station in Florida, you can pretend for 5 minutes, right?
Well, my brother-in-law is a career Marine, and my sister and. Who's married to him and their kids, they, lived on the Tampa side of the whole thing, so I figured I had to go for that.
Do you come and hang out with them every time you're in town, since you guys roll through here a bunch?
Well, I think they've all scattered from there, and so my oldest sister passed away, so... time marches on, and make the most of each day. That's all we can do.
Yeah. You've got a degree in mechanical and aerospace engineering.
Yeah.
I think that makes perfect
sense. With a gun to my head, I'm not sure I can tell you anything about it. I graduated college when I was close to 20 years old, and I'm 74 now, so that's half a century ago.
So you don't have to remember anything for that long, right?
I've gotten away with it this long. So.
See, that makes perfect sense to me, because I've always said that prog rock, progressive music, is very cerebral in a lot of the chord progressions and time changes. And it's music by smart people, often for other smart people. So that perfectly fits in my mind.
Well, I was heavily influenced by Brian May of Queen, he's got a degree in astronomy.
Yeah.
And I was an astronomy geek when I was a kid. And actually, we worked with we opened for Queen a number of times back in those days, but I never really sat down and had a conversation with them. They were sort of aloof of it that whole time with Freddie and everything. So we're the bums from the south side of Chicago. So.
There's quite a few musicians and rock stars that are actually super smart. Brian May, yourself, a couple of guys from The Offspring both have like masters in biochemical engineering or something similar. So that dumb rock star thing is totally overblown, except for a few people,
Well, it's working for me, so.
The dumber you get to pretend, the less questions they ask, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah. One of your biggest hits in Styx, Come Sail Away, been featured in movies and TV shows for decades, but I have a feeling in the late 90s, about 1998, it reached an entirely new audience when Cartman on South Park had to sing it anytime you heard...
Yeah, I only watched that once or twice, when it actually happened, but it's pretty crazy too. That was a crazy, wacky, fun thing.
I was going to ask how you guys felt about that because it wasn't making fun of you guys or the band or anything by any means, and I think Cartman did a really kind of kick-ass version of it at the end.
Well, the beauty is in the eye and the ear of the beholder. So. I'll leave that up to you. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely not as good as your version, but it could have been worse. So, going back to smart people and smart music, when I'm listening to Too Much Time on My Hands, the intro has always messed with me rhythmically because it sounds like the keyboard sort of bass line that comes in starts on one beat, and then when the drum snare hits, it's almost like it's a half beat off. And then when the rest of the band comes in, it's back on that first beat. Am I hearing something weird? Is that intentional?
It's intentional, and I kind of whack those back beats that, it's not a drum machine because a human being has decided to do that. And there's a lot of accusations about everybody's using Fairlights and drum machines and this, that, and the other thing. And we just did it. John Panazzo was a very powerful man behind the drums, and this is the thing. Dennis wrote that because Dennis was pretty smart about drumming, and then that just kind of turned into that. And Tommy Shaw gets credit for writing the song because he did the lyrics and the melody. So there you go.
I got to tell you, obviously, everybody in the band has got another level of talent than most musicians. Because even though I know it's switching, even though I know it's coming, every time I hear the intro to that song, I get off. My brain gets all discombobulated, and I'm like, I could not do that on stage unless it's like, hey, shut up for a second. I forgot the beat again, damn it.
Can you start that over?
Yeah. Okay, do I come in on 1 or 1.5? Which one is it?
Take a wild guess.
Yeah, I was reading up on you guys and some of the history on your Wikipedia page, and I didn't realize that Styx got caught up in that entire ridiculous PMRC thing with Twisted Sister, and they were accusing you of backmasking in Snowblind. How the hell did you handle that whole thing? Because the backward masking is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, and yet everybody was believing it.
Well, we got pushed in there because STYX in Greek mythology is the river that runs through Hades. So that were we devil worshippers? I think that in some of the far right wing mindset that kind of pasted us there. And but I mean, really, we have so many uplifting songs. How anyone could have accused us of that seems a little crazy to me. But someone was on the rampage, and it made news headlines for a brief period of time, and then it's been gone ever since. So
I can tell you this: every time I've listened to Styx my whole life, I have never once thought, "Wow, that's really devilly or satanic or anything." Styx just does not evoke those kinds of feelings.
There was a song that I did a little bit later called "Heavy Metal Poisoning," and the opening line was "What the devil's going on?"
Well, you guys basically wrote an entire album kind of clapping back against that. I mean, Kilroy Was Here was essentially kind of an up yours to that whole censorship by religious groups.
Oh, yeah.
And I tell you what, right now, in some parts of the country, it kind of feels like history's trying to repeat itself, but with books and stuff, so... Whew.
Well, there's, I don't know, people want to scare up, fear of whatever, and if you have you're on television or on radio, you can get people wound up a little bit, particularly late at night on the radio.
Well, I promise that here in Florida, we will constantly promote those heavy metal devil worshipping Styx guys. Get some T-shirts printed up with some, devils on the front or something. That'd be awesome.
Well, we're looking forward to coming to Clearwater and having fun in the sun and starting out our tour.
Well, this will be my third time seeing you guys live. Always an epic, amazing, almost like CD quality sound. You guys can perform just perfectly every time. So that is a great thing to go see. If anybody's a Styx fan and hasn't seen them live, what the hell is wrong with you? Thank you so much for taking the time, man. A really fun interview. I appreciate it and can't wait to see you back in town in January.
My pleasure.